Present simple. I do. Study this example situation. Alex is a bus driver, but now he is in bed asleep. He is not driving a bus, he is asleep. But he drives a bus. He is a bus driver. Drive, work, do. Drives, works, does, etc. Is the present simple. I, we, you, they drive, work, do. He drives, she drives, or he works, she works. He does, she does. We use the present simple to talk about things in general. We use it to say that something happens all the time or repeatedly, or that something is true in general. Nurses look after patients in hospitals. I usually go away at weekends. The earth goes around the sun. The coffee opens at 7:30 in the morning. 7:30 in the morning. We say I work, but he works. They teach, but my sister teaches. You go, but it goes. I have, but he has. For spelling S or ES, see Appendix 6. We use do and does to make questions and negative sentences. Do we work? Do you work? Or we don't work, you don't work, they don't work. I come from Canada. Where do you come from? I don't go away very often. What does this word mean? Not what means this word. What does this word mean? Rice doesn't grow in cold climates. In the following examples, do is also the main verb. Do you do? Doesn't do. How do you do? I work in a shop. He's always so lazy. He doesn't do anything to help. We use the present simple to say how often we do things. I get up at 8 o'clock every morning. How often do you go to the dentist? Julie doesn't drink tea very often. Robert usually goes away 2 or 3 times a year. I promise, I apologize, etc. Sometimes we do things by saying something. For example, when you promise to do something, you can say I promise. When you suggest something, you can say I suggest. What do you suggest I do? I suggest I suggest that you. In the same way, we say I apologize, I advise, I insist, I agree, I refuse. Now, let's go do some exercises. First exercise. Complete the sentences using the following verbs. Okay? Tanya speaks German very well. Ben and Chad go to the same school. But bad driving, bad driving, bad driving causes many accidents. The museum closes at 4 o'clock on Sundays. My parents live in a very small flat. The Olympic Games take place every 4 years. The Panama Canal connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Put the verb into the correct form. Julia doesn't drink tea very often. What time the banks close here? What time do the bank close here? I have a car, but I not use it much. I don't use it much. Where Maria come from? Is she Spanish? Why? Where does Maria come? Where does Maria come from? Is she Spanish? What you do? I am an electrician. What do you do? What do you do? I am an electrician. Look at this sentence. What this word mean? What does this word mean? What does this word mean? David isn't very fit. He not do any sports. He doesn't do any sports. He doesn't do any sports. It take me an hour to get to work in the morning. How long it take you? It takes it takes me an hour to get to work in the morning. How long does it take you? Okay. Complete the sentences using this verb. Sometimes you need the negative. The earth goes around the sun. Rice doesn't grow in cold climates. The sun in the east rises in the east. Bees, honey. Bees make honeys, yes. Make honey. Vegetarians meat. Vegetarians eat meat. Don't eat meat. Don't eat meat. An atheist in God. An atheist believe or doesn't believe. Doesn't believe. Yes, doesn't believe in God. An interpreter from one language into another. An interpreter translates from one language into another. Layers are people who tell the truth or don't tell the truth. Don't tell the truth. The river Amazon into the Atlantic Ocean. The river Amazon flows into the Atlantic Ocean. You ask Lisa questions about herself and her family. Who writes the questions? You know that Lisa plays tennis? You want to know how often? Ask her. How often do you play tennis? Perhaps Lisa's sister plays tennis too. You want to know? Ask Lisa. You sister. Does your sister play tennis? Does your sister play tennis? You know that Lisa goes to the cinema a lot. You want to know how often? Ask her. How often do you go to the cinema? How often do you go to the cinema? You know that Lisa's brother works. You want to know what he does. Ask Lisa. What does your brother do? What does your brother do? Question. You are not sure whether Lisa speaks Spanish. You want to know. Ask her. Do you speak English? Do you speak Spanish? Do you speak Spanish? You don't know where Lisa's grandparents live. You want to know. Ask Lisa. Where do your parents or your grandparents live? Where do your grandparents live? Mr. Evans is not in the office today. I suggest you try calling him tomorrow. I won't tell anybody what you said. I promise. I promise. In a restaurant, you must let me pay for the meal. I insist. For what I said, I shouldn't have said it. I apologize. I apologize. For what I said, I shouldn't have said it. The new restaurant in Baker Street is very good. I recommend it. I think you are absolutely right. I agree with you. I agree with you. Okay.